this is Nick, and I wanted to come here and talk to you guys today about my experience with the Lifeafar investment tour. I went to two different cities on this tour. The first one I went to was Medellin, and the second one I went to is Cartagena. I stayed in Lifeafar projects in both cities. So in the first city we stayed in their Envigado Lofts project, and in the second city we stayed in Cartagena Suites. So the first project we went to, I'm going to show you guys, is Envigado Lofts. This is the kitchen. Looks nice. The kind of bathroom. Bathroom is nice, real pretty. So I can see everything. A nice wood feature. Nice couch. Actually, looking at this, I feel like a studio apartment wouldn't actually be bad at all. Got the national jersey right there. And then you can't get the whole thing in frame, but you get it. It looks nice. This window isn't functional. There's art on the wall. Nice size TV. So on looks, it looks good so far. Let you guys know about my experience and how I'm going to move forward. The second project I'm going to show you guys is Cartagena Suites. Give me a little bottle of wine. Give me a little bottle of wine, TV, a little kitchen if you want to cook. There's a fridge. Oh, bitch. And it's... I don't have to buy water. It's the bathroom. Now that you guys have seen both properties, my first impressions of Cartagena Suites, which was the second place that we went to, was that when you first walk up to the place, it doesn't look like it's in the best part of town when you first go up there, but you quickly realize as you stay there, because I've never been to Cartagena, how close it is to everything, the proximity to other parts of the town like Yosemite and the old city or the old wall. Is real close to that stuff. Like you could walk there from the hotel, and there's a couple restaurants you can go to around the corner. So it's actually a really good place to stay. And then Envigado Lofts, that's the first place I pulled up to. I stayed there the first 2 nights. The first night was the flight nights, so you didn't really do anything. And then the second night, we had to leave early in the morning. But Envigado Lofts, I like the design of Envigado Lofts. I actually like the location. It's real nice in proximity to other places. And it's not too far from El Poblado. Like if you wanted to go to Geras or Provenza, it's not too far. So I like that. I like the design. But some of the bad with that one, when the first day I got there, the room key didn't work. But some of the good was that Lifeafar was on top of it. And actually, I was in Parque Geras hanging out, and I just was talking to Adrian, a member of the team, and I just mentioned to my room, hey man, my room's not, I can't get in. And then he said, okay, I got somebody on it. Then the maintenance man, he was messaging me via WhatsApp, sent me a couple messages. He was like, Nick, let me know when you're on your way back. I fixed the door for you. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm still hanging out, having a good time, right? And then an hour or two goes past, and not an hour or two, probably like 30 minutes. He said, Nick, are you still on your way back to the room? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to come back to the room. I'll just let you know when I get there. Like, in a sense, like, fallback, man. Like, if the room is working, thank you. I'm going to get back soon. And then he texts me again, so I just go back to the room, like, because I was kind of a little bit irritated. But when I go back to the room, I see why he was texting me. He actually stayed in the room to make sure I was able to get in. So While the room key didn't work at first, he fixed it and he stayed in the room to make sure I can get in. And this is like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. So, hey, it didn't work, but respect to them what they did. And then the second day, what we did was we went to, after the flight night, we went to Medellin, their headquarters in Medellin. I don't know if it's their headquarters, but it's called like, it's a co-working space basically. And it was nice to see some of the projects that they've already worked on that aren't real estate. And this is the part of the project I was kind of impressed with the most was their suite in El Poblado. Excuse me, I'm not familiar with the areas that well. The suites in El Poblado. So, like, they have a co-working space, has offices, has Wi-Fi, and all that stuff. And we had a couple meetings there. And then their real estate team took us to see some projects that were like projects that you can live in type thing, not the investment projects that they had. So during the first half of the day before lunch, we just went around and looked at some of the apartments they had for rent or sale. And then we went to lunch, and then we looked at some more apartments and got to check out some of the projects that they have done. I was impressed with what Jeremy had done with the apartments. So I was impressed with the design that they have in a lot of stuff, and I was really impressed with their HQ in El Poblado. It's well designed, and I could see myself, if I were to stay there, actually work there. And then so the first day in El Poblado was a lot of business. We handled business like the whole day. We were only there for one day. So from like 8 o'clock to like 5 o'clock, we had a good time doing the business, talking, eating, and all that kind of stuff. We went out for drinks. They took us to nice places. The food was good in the places that we ate. The team was really nice. I had to take a call for like 30 minutes while I was down there, and I stayed back at the drink place, and Adrian actually came back and checked on me like once or twice to make sure I was okay and they didn't lose me and stuff. So I appreciate that. They let me know I wasn't forgotten. And the next day we took a flight to Cartagena. The flight was kind of choppy and we had to sit on our air Mac and all that stuff, but we got to see their Cartagena, I don't want to get it wrong, Cartagena Bayside Suites. It's a project, and they showed like some of the value add stuff that they do. And basically it was like they're going to raise a floor. They found some square footage hidden in the back of like the blueprints and stuff. I was impressed with the project they did there. And I was also impressed with the projects that they had did in El Poblado. In Cartagena they only had 2, but when we went inside Cartagena Suites, it was really immaculate, really well designed, had some indoor, outdoor living. I was really, really impressed. And these are my impressions. I'm really impressed with the team. The team went above and beyond while I was there, in my opinion. There was 2 times I got separated from the group. One time I stayed back after drinks to talk. Had a phone call I had to take, and Adrian came to check with me twice, so I really appreciate that. They noticed I was gone and sent somebody to come look after me. And then the second time we were in Cartagena, the night before we went to a place to go out and have fun, so I figured the restaurant would be in that direction, Yosemite. So I started walking that way once I got separated from him. I went to the ATM, came back out, nobody was there, so I just started walking to Yosemite. Angelo actually texted me and let me know that that they were at a different restaurant. Started walking back towards the restaurant and got there, and come to find out Adrian's not there. And Adrian was there because he went to go look for me, so they went above and beyond for me, and I appreciate that, and I was impressed by that. Secondly, I wanted to say I was impressed by the approachability of Jeremy. I was able to go talk to him and let him know that, hey, I'm pursuing my MBA, and if you guys need somebody with that skill set, I would be interested if there's a position of coming down here and working for you guys. Took the chance, shot my shot, and he said to stay in contact. We're always looking for new people with talent, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to try and stay in contact with them as much as I can, and that's not annoying level, you know what I'm saying? And I think once I get into the specialization part of my program and then electives, I'm going to say, hey Adrian, there's these electives, do you have any insight on what classes I should take that would help what you guys are doing down there, or prepare me if you guys still have the opportunity available once I finish school. And so I'll take that as a success. I have the contact, I just have to work it, and I feel like he wasn't blowing smoke on my behind. I feel like I have a good chance if if the business conditions and everything are right when I finish up going down there and having a position. So that's definitely a win right there. And then I'm also going to say almost as their human capital, like with Adrian and Jeremy, is their, which is human capital, but their design team is amazing. They do a lot of great designs, and the Airbnb business people are just looking at the pictures, and I believe that gives them an advantage because how many people are having a design team design their product that they're putting on Airbnb? Lots of people are just putting their house or their condo, their vacation rental, their vacation home on Airbnb. They're not professionally designed, and it gives them a competitive advantage. And also, like in the design, they include things like in Medellin, the climate is real temperate. It's like the city of Eternal Springs is always like 75 degrees, so you really, in a sense, might not need an air conditioner, but you put an air conditioner in there because they know that's a box that needs to get checked off when people are looking for apartments. That's just something that will get filtered out. None of their products will show if it doesn't have it, so they put it in there even though you might not need it. So I'm really impressed. It seems like they're ahead of the market in the Airbnb hotels because they have like a full concierge service. So I was impressed with that. That goes into the product. I was impressed with the product they have to offer in the rooms that we had to stay, and the locations of them. I was really impressed with that. Some of the things, one of the things I would have liked more is when we were in Medellin, the first day we were there, that was the flight day, and the second day we had a jam-packed schedule full of business meetings and everything. We went to Cartagena. It was a little bit more laid back. I personally would have loved to learn more about some of their past projects, because when we were in the meeting, we talked about a coffee project, but I didn't want to take time out of the meeting to talk about the coffee project. I don't know anything about coffee or anything like that, but that's something I would like to know about, because they were talking about maybe opening another coffee investment opportunity, which has been interesting to really learn about. I would have liked, if possible, if they have another tour, because when we got to Cartagena, they have less projects out there, I'm assuming, so we saw less stuff. So maybe just set out a half an hour to an hour block where they talk about these are some of the past projects that we've done, and here are the numbers on them, and just have a formal time where we get into just the numbers of the projects. These projects are doing 8% because of X, Y, and Z. We expect a 65% occupancy. We're beating it by 72. We're beating it. We're doing 72%. Like, they just have a little time to just get into the real nitty-gritty finance of their past performance and some of their other products. Because like the product of the coffee farm sounds really exciting to me. I don't know anything about coffee farms, and I don't know what questions to ask or anything like that. So to have like maybe a Q&A, you call it, and they just go over their past stuff for like 30 minutes to an hour, and they really get into the nitty-gritty numbers, number crunching numbers of, we have an average, when we crunch the numbers, we expect 65%. Our product on average do about 72-75% occupancy rate. The rents on the projects are this, and these are these couple projects. We expected these rents, we're getting these rents. Something like that for like an hour, where it's just hour, 30 minutes, where we're just talking about that kind of stuff. Q&A about the finances, because the finances to me are the most important part, and that would have been nice to have a special section designated just for that. Also, like going down there, like I said, I'm going to call it, you go down there with training wheels. If you've never been to a city, going out with the Lifeafar team, they really know the city. We had a great time. We went to a salsa bar one night. We didn't get into I got in at 5. I don't know when everybody else got in. They got in like 6, 7 in the morning. It was just a real great time. The night before, we went to, I don't know, it's kind of like back in college, you just go around random looking for parties and stuff. So it was real fun doing that. When we got to meet Sam was really cool, and that's one of the things I also am impressed with, is how they do their marketing. In these places like Medellin, these places like Cartagena, for U.S. people, for a lot of people, how they're going to find out about these places that they don't know, they're going to go look on social media, they're going to go look on YouTube. And for them to have an ambassador like Sam, I'm really impressed with, because Sam somehow, some way is like higher up in the company, he told me about it, but I don't want to misquote him or anything or his position in the company. But Sam's on there. He's on their YouTube channel, and he's giving away a lot of this free content. But he's educating people on Medellin. He's educating people on Bogota. Like, and he makes people feel comfortable with coming down here and staying with Lifeafar now. Because that's Sam Lifeafar. And I feel like in the future, the marketing isn't on TV. You gotta go to the devices where people's eyes are on, the media, the channels that people are consuming their, content. And that's Instagram, that's YouTube right now. That's this is all right now. Snapchat not really, but he's on social media, he's on YouTube, and people are consuming the content. And that's another advantage that they have over a lot of. Are you gonna stay in a Lifeafar Airbnb, or are you gonna stay in just a random dude's Airbnb? You gonna go to the one that Sam showed you on YouTube, or you gonna go to the one that's just there? A little bit. That little bit of stuff is a competitive advantage, and it shows me that they understand marketing in the new age, and it gives me confidence that in the future, if I were to invest with them, they would market the product properly and stay up to date on trends of marketing. So I like that. I also was impressed with a lot of the things that they did. So my impressions, if I had to give it a rating, I would say 9 out of 10 because of like the financial part, and nothing's really perfect, so I'll give it a 9 out of 10. If you've never been to a city and Lifeafar is having a tour, I would suggest you go because they're going to show you the city with train wheels. They'll make sure you have a good time. If you get separated, they'll make sure you get back to the team. And also, if you guys want to know if I chose to invest or not, once I get about, I'll just say something like 25 more subscribers, then I'll drop the video, because I'm close to a threshold, so I'm thinking like 25 more subscribers, then I'll drop the video on how many projects I invested in, how much I invested in the project, and which project I invested in and why and all that, if I choose to invest. So if you guys want to see if I invest or not, if I felt comfortable investing or not, in the process of investing with Lifeafar, then stay tuned and I'll drop a video about that. I'm probably going to put like a visual vibes video of all the stuff that we did on the tour as a separate video. If you want to just click that, I'll put a link to that below this video once it's done. I'm going to release this video first. Once that's done, I'll put a visual vibes tour for the people who just want to look at and see what it's like to take a Lifeafar tour. So my review, I would give them a 9 out of 10. I would just like a little bit more about the financials. The team's great. The products that I've seen were great. For their first, and that was their first tour that they've done that I was on. So I would say, for their first time, I was really impressed. And if you get a chance to take a Lifeafar tour, I would recommend you taking it. This is Nick. Check it out. Enjoy. Once I get those couple more subscribers, I'll drop the video. You guys can see if I invest or not. So this is Nick checking out. Enjoy the rest of your night, morning, weekend, day, whatever it may be for you. Thanks for watching.